Hi, Bonnie. Tommy here, just wanting to give you a quick reply to your work in week 5, especially what you've written here in Form 2. Appreciate the kind of tension that I think you're holding. On the one hand, we've got some clear kind of richness to Carter's account of how the miracles of Jesus involve not just isolated individuals, but um, human beings who are in all kinds of relationships with others. And their lives are shaped by all kinds of structures that are at work in their lives. And so that when Jesus heals them miraculously, he is acting upon their relationships, the structures of their life. It's not as if he suddenly lifts their bodies from that fabric and heals them independently of it. He heals these people as part of a fabric of life that they share with others, etc. So that's one part of it. The other part of it, though, is the misgivings that you're having about the kind of account that Carter gives of the imperialist causes of the disease that is so rampant in Jesus's generation. And of course, his concern, I think, is to be able to show how Jesus is confronting empire and addressing it in the way that he is performing these kind of anti-imperial miracles. And here I think I want to resonate with you a little bit because I think that as true as what Carter observes is that there is a kind of imperial corruption of the society of Jesus's day, a very uneven distribution of resources, the exploitation of people and land that results in all kinds of illness. That sort of analysis, I think, sort of it sort of leaves out all kinds of other relevant factors that collude with imperial pressure to produce disease in its concrete manifestations as we're finding it in the Gospel of Matthew. So it's not to deny that there are imperial causes to these diseases, but there are all kinds of other causes as well that I would say are not neatly attributable to the Roman Empire. And these would be um, matters that have to do with the more regional and local governments of Jesus's communities that are certainly under Roman pressure, but they're also taking advantage of discretion that they have, in some ways, sometimes ingratiating themselves to Roman rule. Then there are people that I would say are actually resisting Roman rule. You might think here of the stories of Sabbath. I think the scribal and Pharisaic voices are largely opposed and vigorously so to the Roman Empire. And this is part of the reason why they are so kind of intense about certain distinctives of uh, observance of the law because they offer a kind of resistance to Roman hegemony. So if those kinds of practices like resistance to Roman Empire through certain interpretations of the law are also um, a causal factor in the disease of Jesus's day, which Matthew tells us in some ways that they are, then you can't sort of neatly account for uh, disease in terms of imperial causes. You're going to have to factor in others. We could add to these, the responsibility that people have very locally in their relationships with one another and the breakdown of the fabric of neighbors caring for each other. And again, this is taking place under Roman imperial pressure, but Roman imperial pressure does not explain entirely that sort of breakdown. There are other contributing factors as well. So that means that when we describe Jesus's healing miracles, we have to see how they're addressing that full range of causes of disease. And while Carter, I think, rightly wants to recover a certain emphasis on imperial oppression, I think if we run with that to such an extent that we neglect all of the ways that imperial oppression actually relies on certain forms of collaboration, and we would here need to talk also about satanic, demonic powers that are named very explicitly in the narrative that are not neatly identifiable with Roman power, even if, again, they collude with Roman power. So we need to sort of cultivate, I would say, that kind of imagination that is capable of weighing dynamically all of these different factors to make sense of what is producing disease and what that says about Jesus's power to heal disease in the ways that Matthew features him as doing. So that's my 2 cents. Hope that's helpful to you as you're trying to navigate some of these questions. Appreciate your critical engagement with Carter this week.